Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight we have a special guest with us back on the show. We have Nader Sadek. Welcome back to the show, Nader.
Hey, thanks, Jet. What's up?
Okay, so Nader, tell people a brief history on yourself and how you became interested and later active in the world of metal music.
Originally I grew up in Egypt. I lived there for about 20 years, and then I moved to the States. Just was really into dark art stuff, and eventually, started to listen to metal. And I wanted to explore the boundaries of art and metal and kind of combine them and try to do like this big collaborative project between myself and different well-known names in the death metal world, sometimes from the black metal world, like just kind of extreme metal. And it's included people from just basically every known band: Morbid Angel, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Death, people who at some point were in those bands, and just write music with them and record albums and do shows.
So just to catch people up a little bit, you have a live album, Living Flesh. You have a full-length out, In the Flesh. You have an EP, The Malefic Chapter 3, that came out in 2014. Now, I've had you on a couple of times on the show to talk about these works, but just to catch people up to what's going on now, tell us a little bit about In the Flesh and choosing the lineup for that album.
That was, we recorded it in 2010. Most songs were recorded, written and demoed, late 2009. And I just, the way I think about it is trying to combine the people who normally wouldn't find each other. They may not be very interested in the type of music. Like some people who listen to death metal don't listen to black metal, and some of the people who create it are also like that. So I want to make it a challenge. So I get a guitarist who's most of his work is black metal, and combine them with someone who's into technical drumming, like Cryptopsy, and and it's like Mayhem plus Cryptopsy plus Morbid Angel, the vibes of those bands, mm-hmm. and try to create a cultured sound that combines maybe the best elements from those bands, puts it into one song or into several songs. That's kind of how I choose the lineups, is making sure there's a variation in the background of each musician, and that way each one of them brings something unique. If it's all people who are into technical, some of that new tech death stuff, they're gonna produce something that's just that, and maybe in that way kind of predictable. But when you have people from different subgenres collaborating on a sound, you get something that I think is bigger, So then that's how I choose all the lineups, for each show, each record. It's always each tour, it's always going to be different people, because also having different people makes the sound different each time it's performed. So it's interesting, it's constantly changing. And when you see it one time, if you see it in one tour, and the next tour it'll be different. So each show is actually unique. So it keeps it interesting, and that's what I want to do.
So now the EP, right? Let's talk about that a little bit. Usually an EP leads into a full-length album. Now this EP was released 2 years ago. So tell us why you wanted to release this work as an EP, and what was the lineup of the EP?
Um, the lineup was Flo and Blasphemer and Travis Ryan. Um, and then there was, each song had a different bassist. There was Martin Rigiel and Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse, and Oliver Pinar, who is also in Cryptopsy. So, you know, it's like, it's pretty close to the In the Flesh lineup, but still like a lot of variation. Like, you know, there was also Andreas Kisser from Sepultura, plays a couple of solos, and Bobby Coble, who was also in Death. So it was a really cool, strong combination of people, I think. And yeah, and it's also like, you're talking about it being followed up by an album, but actually it's a 3-part EP. So the next part, you know, I'm doing it backwards. It's like 3 first, and 2, and then 1. And we just finished mixing Malefic 2, and right now I'm back in Florida recording and finishing up like Malefic 1.
And now, is Malefic 2 and Malefic 1 the same lineup on both of those as well?
Well, actually, we also re-recorded Malefic 3, so it's a lineup that's a little more consistent with 2 and 1. That way, you know, it follows kind of the same atmosphere. Like Malefic 3 that was released in 2014, it's almost kind of like, I mean, I think it's great, of course, like, but it's almost like a demo. It's like almost like a scratch version of the real one, you know, and because the real one is part of that, you know, trilogy. Whereas that one was kind of like, we had already done it, and like, you know, we had all this music, and we just thought we should really release it because people want to hear something. I don't want people to wait for too long, and I feel like already like this is taking too long, you know. But at the same time, like, I'm also getting Malefic 1 finished now, so things are moving faster, like in the last couple of months.
So tell us a little bit about the theme behind the trilogy, and what is the trilogy all about, Nader?
Well, it's you know, I just always wanted to write like a fantasy story, sort of, you know, with like a, you know, so it's like something that's like a cool short narrative, you know, that's kind of like a horror story, and it starts with to give you like a short, you know, I don't want to give you too many details because then it's like spoils the story, but basically someone is asked for help by someone else, and the person that's being asked has to go through you know, a lot to get the power to be able to help the other person, and on that journey, you know, they get corrupted, and kind of the ending of the story is that corruption ends up doing them both a disservice, you know. I know it sounds like very vague, but it's like it's set in like a very like fantastical world, and you know, I'm actually illustrating it, and I'm collaborating with this painter. I'm doing all the layouts, and he's like finishing it, like painting it, and I'm really excited because it's almost going to be like a graphic novel, a little different. It'll be like, you know, like a 12-page book with, or not 12, sorry, it'll be a book with 12 illustrations, and, you know, along with like a little bit of narrative and a little bit of the lyrics, and those things will, you know, be part of the the packaging of the album. You know, it's like an illustrated story, and the music is the soundtrack to it.
Now, are you going to be releasing all 3 parts at once?
No, I think like it'll be cool to release each one like maybe 6 months apart or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like you said, you already released the first one more or less, but you re-recorded it. So after you re-recorded it, will you like release that one and then like wait 6 months before the second one and then wait 6 months before the third one? Or because we already heard the first one, will you release the first one and the second one kind of together?
No, like I think the second one and then the first one, I don't think I'll release the 2 together. I think it's just going to be this one and then like a few, you know, hopefully only the 6 month, you know, but I still have to see because, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to do something with a label or self-release it. Like, I'm still not sure.
So you guys have you've been playing out throughout the year still, you know, a couple of shows, and you guys have this Swarm Fest coming up in Tampa this weekend. So are you going to be playing any new stuff at the show in Tampa?
Well, we've been playing a song from Malefic 2 for the last, in the shows that have happened in the last like 6 months. So it's just one song, but at Swarm Fest we're playing that one song, but like nothing else, like all stuff that's already been heard.
Okay, so that festival is coming. So what's the lineup that you're gonna have with you at the festival?
It's gonna be Derek Roddy, who used to be in Nile and Hate Eternal, and Richie Brown, who he kind of like was forming, I think, Trivium with Matt Heafy, like back in the day, like, and he's also in a really great band called Mind Scar. And then there's Jim Ross from he just like mainly does projects. His project's called Band Horror. She kind of does like really similar stuff to how I'm doing stuff, but he has a lot more writing in it. And then Novi from Vader and Behemoth. He was in Vader and Behemoth for a while, and he's just a great bassist. And we played. He played actually on Living Flesh and one of the new songs. So I'm pretty excited to see him again and jam with him again. It'll be fun.
So you got that coming on, and then like I said, people could go check you guys out this weekend. Now, which day are you playing the fest, Nader?
18th, and I think it's around 10:30. We're headlining the 18th. I think.
Okay, cool. So people can check you out. It's at the Brass Mug, I believe, on the 18th. You guys said you got your headlining. And then now Nader's going to be coming back on the show when you have the next chapter done, which will be soon-ish. And then you could tell us all about what's going on there with that album in more detail. We could hear some more music from it. And Nader, thank you so much for keeping us, getting us up to date on what's going on with you. And we look forward to talking to you really soon about the next release that you have going on.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited about Swarm Fest, but yeah, I can't wait to finally release Malefic 2. It's like, been working on it for a while, and I think it's turning out to be really awesome and special. So thank you.